Hi, welcome to Om's Planetary Watch. My name is Olga Morales, and I've got another installment for you. Another one that is quite strong and explosive, really. And I've called it dynamite because we are going to have Mars conjunct Pluto on January 27th. But there's something else about this conjunction that makes it even more explosive that I want to explain to you because the whole arrangement at the moment of the planets is something that is so unique and hasn't happened for a very long time, the way they're arranged. So, let me show you what I mean. Okay, so this is on the 27th of January. We're going to have Mars conjunct Pluto at 3 degrees of Aquarius 33, 34 actually. Okay, now, you can see, I mentioned in my previous videos that it's not just the fact that Saturn and Neptune will be conjunct in Aries that's important, which is obviously very important because this is our zero world point. But you can see even this structure here very easily. This is a midpoint structure that Pluto and Uranus are also in the picture. They're moving, their midpoint is also there, 1 degree of Aries. Now, what happens? Mars comes into the picture. Okay, Mars. Now, Mars is like the fuel of every planetary picture. He comes in and sets it off. So it's like a planet that ignites things. It's ignition, all right, and it's instantaneous. So I believe this will be a very strong um, day, and it's not just this day, it might be 3 days before that we get this very intense Mars energy, and it's explosive, and I'll show you why. Let's just look at what does it mean for Mars to be conjunct Pluto. Mars is the traditional ruler of the sign of Scorpio and Aries, okay? Now, Pluto has been traditionally, not traditional, the modern ruler of Scorpio, but they're both very intense signs. Okay, Mars is war and action, Pluto is the god of the underworld, and it's all about transformation. And in Aquarius, it's all about the individual breaking the status quo. You're not going to be the same. You want your independence, you want to be different from everyone else, you want your freedom, so you're going to fight like quite aggressively for your freedom if that's what you want. If that's what you want, okay. So let's have a look. There could be power surges, ignition, takeover energy, extreme force, pressure cooker, volcanic eruptions, 0 to 100 very quickly, and no turning back. Revolution, rebellion, uprising, shock waves, disruption, breaking the system, an overthrow, insurgency, riots, and protests. I mean, these are ongoing everywhere around the world, but I think the intensity might even increase over these few days. Okay. Tech warfare, cyber attack, hacking, AI escalation, digital weapons, surveillance, mass network, social media storms. Remember, Aquarius is also to do with technology, right? So collective anger, mob momentum, group force, ideological battles, factions, us versus them, strategic strike, covert ops, domination games, brute leverage, intimidation, strong arm tactics. Next one, truth exposure, leaks, scandals, uncovering what's hidden, purging, corruption, cleansing through crisis. Pluto's a god of the underworld, so yeah, Mars might pull it up. I've been hoping that all the stuff in the underworld that's been hidden from us comes up to the surface, and that's what people want. We want to know the truth of what they've been hiding for all these years. Might be, it might happen. Radical innovation, forced upgrades, destruction, rebuild, re engineering society, electric conflict, sudden outages, infrastructure stress, grid networks under pressure, that is. So people have been asking me, Olga, what do you have? Why are you using this dial? I've never seen it before. You know, it's different to all the what the other astrologers do, and it is. When I started astrology over 30 years ago, my teacher was a cosmobiologist, Pamela Rowe, and I learnt about midpoints and this dial. So I also know the normal astrology, the other wheel as well. But to me, this is so much better, and I'll explain why. So, as a cosmobiologist, it comes from Germany. It was the Uranian system, and then Reinhold Eberton. This is his book here. If you ever want to get into this, the combination of stellar influences. Sorry, it's not clear on the. And this is my Bible. You can see I've got a clip on it because it's breaking, falling apart. And so the Aries world point is like, for cosmobiologists, is the beginning of everything. Everything starts here. This is our cardinal points at 0 degrees of the cardinal signs, which are Aries, Cancer, Capricorn, Libra first and Capricorn. They all start there. They're at the beginning of our seasons. The equinoxes and the solstice all start here. Okay, and so you can see why having Neptune and Saturn will be there soon. They are at this world point. It's where you, as an individual, come to the world stage, but it's a really point of the collective. The collective awareness is here. Okay, and so Mars conjunct Pluto is a trigger because we can see. I just wanted to show you the Mars. Now, see how Mars is with Pluto and then Uranus is on this side. So they're mirror imaging. This is called, traditionally it's called like Antisha. Antisha is like the shadow point or the mirror point from the solstice point, they used to call it. And this is, it's equidistant. So they're mirroring each other because they add up to 30. All right. Now, this is why I love this so much when I see this pattern, because it's like a collective eruption, right? So Mars and Pluto, the principle, this is from Eberton, superhuman force, brute force and brutality, probable manifestation, success for excessive force, brutal methods, violent assaults and injuries. So Mars and Pluto act like an ignition here. And once it ignites, the entire midpoint structure rising towards Aries, like a pressure building in a volcano. So it's almost like a pressure cooker, going up, 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 and then it's got to get out of that Aries point. So what is the Aries point? A lot of people have also asked me, why is it so important? And the reason it's so important is because it's not just astrology, it's actually astronomical. This is basically where the intersection of the ecliptic, the sun's apparent pathway, crosses the celestial equator, which is the Earth's equator projected on space. And they cross at the vernal equinox. The vernal equinox, the spring equinox, for Australians, that's our autumn equinox, okay? But it's our world point. This is what we call, it's the world axis, okay? Literally, it's where the sun and the earth meet in the sky. It's like a cosmic zero line between heaven and earth. And it's important. And with astronomical measurement, it's actually right ascension. Everything starts here. So really, the real year starts at this point. That's the 21st, 22nd of March is really the new year. It's definitely the new year for astrologers. And it's also the new year in Persia, the ancient Persians. That's their new year. I think there are other calendars that are there as well. Okay. Now, the fact that we have the sun going around the ecliptic, and we have the equator, and we see this space in between here. This is where we get declination, because, as most of you already know, our Earth's tilted to 23.5 degrees. Now, that has not always been that measurement. Okay, it can swing. There's a huge cycle of 41,000 years. And there have been times when that axis was actually 21.5 and when it actually went to 24.5, right? Some people say that once there wasn't this axis and we were like this, and this is like the golden age or the Garden of Eden, where everything was sort of aligned, balanced. But now we have this axis and we get our seasons, and there'll be times when, in Australia it's our summer, and in the north it's a winter. So there's this complete opposite, okay? So, and also, as you know, at this vernal point, or so I should say that equinox means equal days and nights, or equal nights really, for both hemispheres. That's where our balance point, right? So, and then I want to show you what the sun does. If we look at it on a 2D, we can see that the sun actually during the year has this swing like a sine wave. This is really important for people who follow me because of trading, and we do GANs work, and it's all about the seasons. We need to know these seasonal dates. And what I've done here is basically this is where they meet, the sun and the earth at this point. It's zero declination, the equator, and then we get that 23.5 plus and the 23 minus. This is the Tropic of Cancer, and this is the Tropic of Capricorn. Have you ever wondered why you have those on your world map? It's all to do with this. So when they meet, the sun is like the spirit and time, and the earth, see, the earth's got the cross of matter in it, it becomes form and matter. So it's a point where spirit meets matter. In the metaphysical or esoteric teachings, that's what it's all about. And this is what it looks like on the chart. This is called the Grand Cross. And these are all our seasons, okay? Our seasonal ingress points. And it's really significant for us to know these natural law, what Gan would call natural law, because this is unchanging. It's a known cycle. We have this seasons of the sun, the way it goes, okay? Now, people wanted me to explore this map a little bit more. Well, what I've done here, I've put the 0 degrees of Aries and all the planets involved that I've just showed you, plus the Mars, for the 27th of January, just to show you where this intensity, so they're all coming to this point, I can then put them on the world map. Okay. And so looking at this, you can see where there's high intensity of these planets aligned at that point. This is why this is called astrocartography if you've never seen this chart before. And all I've done is I've plotted the planetary lines onto the world map geodetically. And then we can have a look at where I call them hotspots of where there's a potential for these energy expressing itself on a global level. Remember, we're all in this because the Aries point is the collective, almost like the collective consciousness of all of us together. Okay, so it can be explosive and it can be seismic. And obviously, because Mars is involved, it can be aggressive. We can see more protests, or just like we've already got a lot of this happening, but it's just like that there's an intensity building here. There's also been a lot of issues with weather around the world. As I mentioned before, you know, my parents come from Sicily, and most of Sicily has been damaged because of Cyclone Harry, which is a rare thing to happen. I know things are happening in New Zealand. There've been mudslides and happening in New Zealand. Even in Australia, we've had flooding and fires on this coastline. Philippines has been active as well. Okay, so there's lines going through here, India, Calcutta, Kathmandu, and parts of China. Obviously, Iran is in this. I've showed this before. We've got the planet Uranus going through Iran. The planet, this is revolution. And we've also got these lines going through that are part of the whole picture that I've shown you. We've also got lines going through Europe and Egypt here, going down into Africa, Southern Africa, South Africa as well. Okay, that's the Mars going through Sicily. Then we've got a whole lot in London and Rome. Well, Rome's sort of off there, but you can't in Spain, parts of Algeria. So you can see this on the map yourself. I don't want to, but I've shown you before that Greenland's in the picture, okay, and parts of Canada, okay, Alaska. Vancouver seems to be in a spotlight here, and also San Francisco and Los Angeles. parts of Mexico, central here. I think this is also to do with New Orleans and right in the center of the United States. We got also going through Venezuela when lots happened in Venezuela. Mars Pluto is also going there. So anyway, this is how we look at astrology, and we've got areas that are under stress. Okay, so I'm just going to leave it there, and like we're going to look back in a week after this date and see if we've seen anything on the global stage, because remember the Aries point is the global stage. Have we witnessed something? Is astrology actually telling us, yes, this is how it works and this is what you're going to see? Because I always test everything I do, and I've been using these charts for many, 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 many years. And to me, they've worked so well. And people that have followed me for years, they've seen it work. So I'm putting it up there, and for you to look at it yourself and just to remember, didn't Olga tell me something? Well, yeah, that's all what I'm telling you. Okay, so thanks for listening. And I, if you want, if you like what I'm talking about, please subscribe and put on notifications. I do these videos on a whim. If I see something and I can do it, I'll put up a little presentation. I am the teacher. I've been teaching astrology for the stock market, but just general as well, midpoints, anything for over 30 years. Gann for over 20 years. Gann, if you don't know what I'm talking about, W.D. Gann was a stock market trader who was using astrology, and I teach a lot of traders astrology as well. So I have a level 1 course if you're interested, you don't know anything about astrology. And I'm moving into level 2 where I will be giving more advanced lessons in there. And I've also written a couple of books that are available on Amazon if you're interested. So thank you.